This section is about time signatures and note values, and basically my approach to really basic theory, because I've never had lessons before, so my grasp and knowledge of theory kind of sucks a little. So it's a really basic approach, just kind of to give you guys an idea of how note values work, and just how the notation works, because you must have seen like there'd probably be something on the screen right now, like a 4/4 or a 6/8 or a 5/4, that kind of vibe. If it intimidates you, it really shouldn't. It's just a basic shorthand notation of time signatures and note values. So I'm going to start with a 4/4, which is common time. That's 95% of music that you hear, and 99% of music on the radio is in 4/4. So I'll start with that. I'll just play it so that you can hear what it sounds like. What the notation means, the 4-4 notation means, is it just tells you in which signature, like with which value of notes you're working with. In this case, quarter notes. So the second number tells you what kind of notes it is, how long they are in essence. So it's quarter notes, so every note is a quarter note long, and the first number tells you how many of them there are. So if it's 4/4, it just means there are 4 quarter notes. So you'll grasp the length part of what I just said a lot better at the end of this lesson, because you'll see the difference between a quarter note and an 8th note and a 16th note. But if I see 4/4, then I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because there are 4 notes and they're each a quarter note long. So with that in mind, I'm just going to play a 4/4 groove again, maybe a little bit different than the first one that I played, but just count along or tap along, and I think it'll immediately sound and maybe even look a little bit different now that you know exactly how the 4/4 concept works. So this is just the 4/4 beat again. Feel free to count or tap along. That was 5/4. You can immediately hear it's got a kind of uncomfortable feel around it because we are so used to 4/4 time. The extra quarter note at the end really gives it an odd vibe, which is why they are called odd times or odd meters or odd time signatures. It's not even, it's not 4 or 8 or even 6, it's a 5, so it's 5 quarter notes, 5/4. I'm just going to play it again, and specifically I think it'll help you a lot if you count along, because it's really hard to grasp the feel of a 5/4 if you don't count it out. This is the way that I teach myself to play odd meters or odd time signatures. I count it out in my head, not aloud, but I specifically count in my head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I play that over and over again until I've kind of got the feel. But in the beginning, it's really crucial to count. So I'm going to play a 5/4 again, and please just tap or count along. That'll actually make a lot more sense, hopefully. So that was in 6/8. This is the first time that we're kind of going into eighth notes now, so I just want to make it really clear that instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're not counting quarter notes anymore. These are now eighth notes because the second number is an 8. So instead of going 1, 2, like that kind of slow vibe, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. So the note values are smaller, so there are more of them. It's not quarter notes anymore, it's eighth notes. What makes this a little bit tricky, it's not difficult, it's just a little bit different, is the fact that it's still even, it's still a 6, like it's a 4, 8, 6, it's still even, it's not an odd time, but it's not a 4 or an 8. So it kind of gives it that little swingy vibe. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's got that kind of 20s ballroom kind of swingy vibe, which is what I dig. So it's got a totally different feel than a 4/4, which is common time. So the first number is a 6, so it's the amount of notes. The second number is an 8, which means it's eighth notes. So that time signature means it is 6 eighth notes. So keep that in mind while I play it again. Maybe tap or count along again. That might make it a bit more evident exactly how this differs from common time. Now once again you'll hear that was 7/8 by the way, but you'll hear 7/8 has got the same kind of odd feel that the 5/4 had. It's not a 4 or a 6 or an 8. It's 7 notes. It's still eighth notes like the 6/8, the previous example. So and we know what eighth notes are now. It's not intimidating anymore. But the fact that it's 7 eighth notes and not 6 or 4 gives it a totally different vibe, a completely different feel. It's another odd time signature and odd meter. So I'm just going to play it again. And like I said in all the previous examples, if you count and if you kind of visually picture it in your head, like the notes ticking over, there'll be some cool stuff on screen as well. But if you count along, maybe even close your eyes, just get the feel of the signature. It makes it so much easier to understand. Because odd meters are intimidating to a lot of people, but it shouldn't be. You just count. You just get the feel and then you commit to the feel. So I'm going to play it again, and if you count along, it should be a lot more evident that it's 7/8 and not 6/8 or 4 or 4/8 or 4/4 or whatever. Odd meter. So that's what's up. This is how it sounds.